Have you ever felt the hairs on the back of your neck rise while refueling at a lonely gas station, or sensed an unseen presence as you glanced into your rearview mirror on a dark, deserted highway? In 7 True Gas Station Horror Stories, we explore terrifying, real-life encounters where ordinary stops became chilling nightmares. From ghostly hitchhikers to possessed fuel pumps, these stories will make you think twice before your next late-night drive. Are you ready to confront the unknown, lurking in the most unexpected places? Chapter 1: The Vanishing of Maura Murray. On a cold night in February 2004, 21-year-old Maura Murray vanished without a trace in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, leaving behind a haunting mystery that continues to baffle investigators and the public alike. A nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, Maura's disappearance began with what seemed like a minor accident on a quiet, rural road, but soon spiraled into a labyrinth of speculation, chilling coincidences, and unsettling reports of strange occurrences around the area. Maura Murray's story starts on February 9, 2004, when she inexplicably packed up her belongings, withdrew $280 from an ATM, and emailed her professors, informing them that she would be taking a week off due to a death in the family, something that was later confirmed to be untrue. She then drove her black 1996 Saturn sedan north toward New Hampshire, seemingly without a clear destination. At around 7:30 p.m., on a desolate stretch of Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, Maura's car veered off the road and struck a snowbank. The accident caused some damage to the car, but it remained operable. Witnesses in nearby homes, alerted by the crash, saw Maura standing next to her vehicle and called the local police. This was the last confirmed sighting of Maura Murray. When the first officer arrived at the scene about 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. The car was locked, and there was no sign of struggle or foul play. Inside the vehicle, officers found an assortment of items that raised more questions than answers. Her credit cards and driver's license were missing, but a packed bag of clothes, her favorite stuffed animal, and a book about climbing the White Mountains were left behind. The strangest discovery was a printed email exchange between Maura and her boyfriend, hinting at trouble in their relationship. The mystery deepened when a box of wine was found spilled on the car's back seat, and a rag was discovered stuffed into the tailpipe, a detail that remains unexplained. Despite an intensive search involving dogs, helicopters, and volunteers, there was no trace of Maura. She had seemingly vanished into the freezing night. Local residents, however, began to whisper of strange occurrences that happened around the same time, specifically near a nearby gas station located just a few miles from where Maura disappeared. This gas station had long been the subject of local lore, a place where strange lights and eerie apparitions were often reported, especially after dusk. One of the most unsettling reports came from a truck driver passing through the area the night Maura disappeared. He claimed to have seen a young woman matching Maura's description, standing near the edge of the woods by the gas station, looking disoriented and waving frantically as if trying to flag down help. As he slowed down to see if she needed assistance, she vanished into thin air. The driver later reported the incident to the police, but they dismissed it as a case of mistaken identity. However, given the proximity to the accident site and the consistent description, many began to wonder if the gas station itself played a role in her disappearance. Over the years, several visitors to the gas station have described seeing mysterious lights, sometimes described as orbs, floating in the trees or darting across the road. These lights were said to be unnaturally bright, with a bluish hue, and would disappear the moment anyone got too close. Some local historians claim that the area around the gas station was once a Native American burial ground, which might explain the unusual activity. Others speculate that the lights could be connected to a series of mysterious disappearances that have occurred in the region, not unlike Maura's. Beyond the lights, there have been numerous accounts of ghostly apparitions seen near the gas station, including figures appearing and disappearing without explanation. In one particularly chilling incident, a local woman reported seeing a figure dressed in dark clothing, standing at the edge of the gas station parking lot. As she approached, the figure turned and walked into the woods, disappearing into the darkness. Convinced that someone was lost or in need of help, she followed, only to find herself alone in a thick, silent forest. Shaken, She reported the incident to the local authorities, who dismissed her claims as hallucinations brought on by stress. As years passed, the gas station became a point of interest for those fascinated by the paranormal, and it wasn't long before stories began to spread of eerie sounds heard at night. Some have described hearing a low hum, almost like a mechanical drone, that seems to emanate from the woods near the station. Others have reported hearing faint cries or voices calling for help. These sounds are said to occur most frequently in February, around the anniversary of Maura's disappearance, leading some to believe that her spirit might be reaching out from the other side, still searching for a way home. The theories surrounding Maura Murray's disappearance have become almost as numerous as the stars in the New Hampshire sky. Some believe she was abducted, perhaps even taken by someone she knew. Others suggest she staged her disappearance to start a new life, though her family and friends vehemently deny this possibility. Among the most chilling theories is the idea that Maura may have wandered into a portal, a thin spot between our world and another, unknowingly crossing into a dimension from which she cannot return. The strange lights and apparitions reported around the gas station only fuel this theory. The gas station's eerie reputation, combined with Maura's vanishing, has led some paranormal enthusiasts to suggest that her disappearance might be linked to a curse or spiritual energy tied to the land. Those who believe this point to the region's history of disappearances and strange phenomena, suggesting that Maura might have unknowingly stumbled into a place where the veil between the living and the dead is perilously thin. Despite extensive investigations, multiple searches, and countless hours of media coverage, Maura Murray remains missing, her fate unknown. Her disappearance, compounded by the reports of strange lights and ghostly figures near the gas station, has left a chilling mark on the town of Haverhill and continues to perplex all who dare to venture into the mysteries of the White Mountains. To this day, the question lingers: did Maura succumb to the dangers of the wilderness, or was she drawn into something far more mysterious and inexplicable, a supernatural encounter that forever concealed her from our world? Chapter 2: The Phantom Car of the Pine Barrens. Deep in the heart of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, a dense and foreboding forest known for its legends and eerie happenings, there lies a stretch of road that has gained a reputation for one of the area's most chilling supernatural phenomena, the Phantom Car. This ghostly vehicle, described by witnesses as an old rusted sedan from the 1940s or 1950s, is said to appear out of nowhere, cruising silently along the dark road before disappearing just as suddenly. Drivers who have encountered the Phantom Car often speak of an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they are being drawn into another realm where the rules of reality no longer apply. The sightings often occur near an old gas station along Route 72, a lonely outpost that seems frozen in time with its peeling paint, flickering neon sign, and rusty pumps that haven't seen service in decades. It is here, near this desolate gas station, that the Phantom Car is most frequently reported. The Pine Barrens, already steeped in local lore thanks to tales of the Jersey Devil and other paranormal happenings, has provided the perfect backdrop for the chilling encounters with this spectral vehicle. One of the earliest recorded sightings of the Phantom Car dates back to the late 1970s, when a truck driver named Bill Hanlon was making his way through the Pine Barrens late at night. As he approached the gas station, he noticed an old, rusted sedan idling by the side of the road. Initially thinking it was an abandoned vehicle, he didn't pay it much mind. But as he drew closer, the car's headlights suddenly flicked on, blinding him momentarily. When his eyes adjusted, the sedan was gone, leaving behind only the faint smell of burnt rubber. Hanlon, shaken and convinced that he had narrowly avoided an accident, continued on his route. But when he mentioned the incident to locals the next morning, he was met with knowing glances and mutters about the ghost car. Over the years, the Phantom Car sightings continued, each one more bizarre than the last. A particularly harrowing encounter happened to a young couple, Tom and Sarah Miller, who were driving home from a camping trip in the Pine Barrens. It was just after midnight when they decided to stop at the old gas station to stretch their legs. As they pulled back onto Route 72, they noticed an old sedan in their rearview mirror. The car seemed to be following them at a steady pace, keeping just far enough behind to remain partially obscured by the darkness. Sarah, sensing something was off, urged Tom to speed up. But no matter how fast they went, the phantom car remained close behind. Suddenly, the sedan accelerated, its rusted body rattling and headlights glaring like the eyes of some predatory beast. Just as it seemed poised to rear-end them, it swerved violently to the side, veered off the road, and disappeared into the trees without a sound. When Tom and Sarah stopped and turned back to check, there was no sign of the car, no skid marks, no broken branches, nothing. The forest stood silent, as if swallowing the car whole. The couple reported the incident to the police, but no evidence of another vehicle was ever found. What makes the phantom car of the Pine Barrens so terrifying isn't just its sudden appearances and disappearances, but the way it seems to be drawn to the gas station, as if tethered to that particular spot by some unseen force. Witnesses have reported seeing the car pull up to the station as if seeking fuel, only to vanish when approached. There are even accounts of the car's headlights turning on by themselves, casting an eerie glow across the deserted lot before dimming back into darkness. The connection between the phantom car and other supernatural phenomena in the Pine Barrens has led to much speculation. Some believe the car is a residual haunting, a ghostly replay of a tragic accident that occurred near the gas station decades ago. According to local legend, a family traveling through the Pine Barrens in the 1950s met with a fatal crash when their car swerved off the road and burst into flames. Since then, it is said, the spirits of the victims have remained trapped in the wreckage of their car, doomed to endlessly wander the lonely roads near the gas station where they last sought help. Others suggest that the car might be connected to the notorious Jersey Devil, a legendary creature said to haunt the Pine Barrens. Some witnesses have claimed that just before the phantom car appears, they hear strange noises, like distant wailing or the flapping of wings, coming from the woods. This has led some to believe that the Jersey Devil itself is somehow involved, using the car as a lure to draw in unsuspecting travelers. Another theory is that the phantom car is a time slip, a momentary breach between the present and the past. The old gas station, with its antiquated pumps and dated architecture, already seems to exist in a different era. Perhaps the phantom car, rusted and decrepit, is a remnant of a bygone time that occasionally overlaps with our reality. Those who have witnessed the car describe an overwhelming feeling of cold, as if they were stepping into a different dimension where time has no meaning and the laws of physics no longer apply. One of the most terrifying aspects of the phantom car is the reports of it causing accidents. A local man, Jake Anderson, recounted his own close encounter while driving home late one night. As he neared the gas station, he saw the old sedan parked in the middle of the road, its taillights glowing like embers. He slammed on his brakes, but as his car skidded to a halt, the sedan vanished and he lost control, crashing into a ditch. Jake survived with minor injuries, but to this day he swears that the phantom car was responsible for the crash. The chilling atmosphere surrounding these encounters has turned the Pine Barrens and the old gas station into a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers, all eager to catch a glimpse of the mysterious vehicle. Some have tried to capture evidence of the phantom car on camera, but all they have managed to record are strange orbs of light, shadows darting across the road, or the faint sound of an engine revving in the distance. Chapter 3: The Haunted Gas Station of Jamestown, North Dakota. Nestled on a quiet stretch of road in Jamestown, North Dakota, there is a seemingly ordinary gas station that has, over the years, become the epicenter of some of the most chilling paranormal stories in the region. For decades, this unassuming location has been the site of countless reports of supernatural activity, accounts of objects moving on their own, mysterious shadows flitting across the walls, cold spots that seem to chill a person to their bones, and eerie, disembodied voices that echo in the dead of night. The gas station has since earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places in North Dakota, and the stories that surround it are as unsettling as they are inexplicable. The haunting of the Jamestown gas station is believed to date back to the late 1980s, when a tragic incident set the stage for the supernatural phenomena that would follow. A young worker named Michael Johnson, known for his friendly demeanor and dedication to his job, reportedly died under mysterious circumstances while working the night shift. According to local legend, Michael was found collapsed behind the counter one morning with no clear cause of death. Some say he suffered a heart attack, while others believe there was something far more sinister involved. His death left a dark stain on the station, and many believe his spirit never left. The first reports of strange occurrences began soon after Michael's death. Employees working the late shift would hear faint whispers when no one else was around, and the sound of footsteps would echo through the aisles even when the store was empty. One employee, Karen Miller, recalled the first time she experienced the unexplained activity. "I was restocking shelves late one night and I kept hearing this tapping sound, like knuckles rapping against wood. At first, I thought it was just the wind, but then it got louder. When I turned around, I saw a shadow move across the wall, but there was no one there. I just grabbed my things and ran out of the store." It wasn't long before customers started experiencing strange phenomena as well. Regulars at the gas station began reporting objects inexplicably moving on their own, soda cans sliding off shelves, car keys being tossed from countertops, and newspapers fluttering to the ground even when there was no breeze. One local truck driver, Jim Thompson, shared his unsettling encounter. "I came in one night to grab a coffee, and as I was paying, I saw the coffee pot lift off the burner by itself and slam back down. The clerk and I just looked at each other, and we both knew there was something in there with us." These eerie occurrences soon caught the attention of local media. In the early 1990s, a small article appeared in the Jamestown Sun, detailing the strange happenings at the gas station. The story gained traction, and soon, curious locals and paranormal enthusiasts flocked to the site, hoping to catch a glimpse of the unexplained. The gas station's reputation as a haunted hotspot grew, and it wasn't long before ghost hunters from across the state began arriving with their equipment, determined to document the paranormal activity. One of the most well-known ghost hunting teams to investigate the gas station was the Dakota Paranormal Society. In 2004, they conducted a series of investigations over several nights, bringing with them an array of equipment: thermal cameras, EMF detectors, digital voice recorders, and motion sensors. The group was determined to find evidence of the supernatural, and what they captured would only add to the gas station's haunted reputation. On the first night of their investigation, the DPS team reported multiple instances of cold spots, areas where the temperature would drop dramatically for no apparent reason. One investigator, Sarah Green, described her experience. "We were standing by the back storage area when all of a sudden the temperature just plummeted. It was like stepping into a freezer. Then, we started hearing what sounded like whispering, but we couldn't make out any words. It was unnerving." The most compelling evidence came in the form of an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon recording captured in the storage room. While reviewing the footage, the team discovered a faint but distinct voice saying, "Help me." The voice was soft, almost pleading, and seemed to echo from another realm. The discovery of this recording sent chills down the spines of everyone who heard it, and solidified the theory that the gas station was indeed haunted by the spirit of Michael Johnson, or perhaps another restless soul. As news of the DPS investigation spread, the gas station became a local legend. More and more visitors began to report their own encounters. Some claimed to have seen a ghostly figure dressed in the uniform of the 1980s, similar to what Michael would have worn, walking through the aisles or standing near the back of the store. Others spoke of seeing shadowy figures darting across the parking lot, or watching them from the windows. The reports were so frequent and consistent that it became difficult to dismiss them as mere imagination or coincidence. One particularly spine-tingling story came from a former employee, Mark Hastings, who worked the night shift for several years. He recounted a night when he was closing up the station and felt a sudden, intense chill. As he turned to leave, he saw a figure standing by the entrance, a young man with a pale face and vacant eyes. "I blinked and he was gone," Mark recalled. But the door chimed, like someone had walked in or out. "It was the most terrified I've ever been in my life." Despite the unnerving experiences, the gas station continued to operate, becoming a place where thrill seekers and ghost hunters could test their courage. The owners, recognizing the peculiar attraction their establishment had gained, even began to embrace the haunted reputation, organizing Halloween events and ghost tours. Yet, for all the intrigue and speculation, there are still those who believe that the haunting is more than just a local legend, that it is a genuine cry from a soul trapped in a place where they met an untimely end. Chapter 4: The disappearing hitchhiker of Route 666. Route 666, ominously nicknamed the Devil's Highway, has been the setting for countless stories of paranormal activity over the years. Stretching across the remote deserts and rugged landscapes of New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah, this highway was once numbered 666, a designation that many believed marked it as a road of ill omen. Despite being renumbered to Route 491 in 2003 in an attempt to distance it from its sinister reputation, the legends persist. Among the most enduring tales associated with this road is that of the disappearing hitchhiker, a ghostly figure who appears along the highway, often near isolated gas stations, only to vanish without a trace after being picked up by passing drivers. The legend of the disappearing hitchhiker is not unique to Route 666. It is a phenomenon reported worldwide, but this highway's version stands out for its consistency and eerie details. Over the decades, numerous drivers, both locals and those just passing through, have reported eerily similar experiences involving a mysterious hitchhiker who appears on the roadside, often near a dimly lit gas station or a particularly isolated stretch of the road. One of the earliest accounts of this phenomenon along Route 666 dates back to the 1950s and 1960s. Drivers traveling through the remote stretches of New Mexico began to report sightings of a man standing on the side of the road, dressed in outdated clothing, such as a long coat and a wide-brimmed hat. Often, these encounters occurred late at night or in the early hours of the morning when visibility was low and the sense of isolation was heightened. Many who saw this hitchhiker stopped to offer him a ride, only for him to disappear from their vehicle without a word or trace. In several documented cases, drivers reported the hitchhiker vanishing while the vehicle was in motion. One such account involved a long-haul trucker who picked up a man near an old gas station. The hitchhiker reportedly climbed into the passenger seat and remained silent for several miles. When the driver turned to speak to him, the passenger seat was empty. Confused and terrified, the trucker pulled over and searched the area, finding no sign of the man he had just picked up. This story mirrors numerous other accounts from different drivers, each describing a similar series of events along this haunted stretch of road. The phenomenon caught the attention of local newspapers and media outlets, especially in the 1970s and 1980s, when the legend of Route 666 was at its peak. Reports of paranormal activity along the highway, including the disappearing hitchhiker, became frequent topics of discussion. Articles would sometimes feature interviews with drivers who, while choosing to remain anonymous, detailed their terrifying experiences. They often described a chill in the air when the hitchhiker entered their vehicle, a sudden feeling of dread, or a sharp drop in temperature. Some even reported hearing faint whispers or unintelligible mumblings just before the hitchhiker disappeared. One well-documented encounter was covered by a local New Mexico news station in the early 1990s. A group of young people traveling from Farmington to Gallup stopped at a gas station on Route 666 to refuel. As they were about to leave, they noticed a man standing by the side of the road, looking lost and distressed. Feeling uneasy but compelled to help, they offered him a ride. The man climbed into the back seat and they drove off. After a few miles, one of the passengers turned around to ask the hitchhiker a question, only to find the seat empty. Shocked, the group drove straight to the nearest police station to report the incident, where they were told that such occurrences had been reported before. The consistency of these encounters has intrigued paranormal researchers and investigators. Some believe that the hitchhiker is a residual haunting, a spirit caught in a loop, replaying the same actions repeatedly. Others suggest that the apparition may be the ghost of a traveler who died on the highway under tragic or violent circumstances, forever doomed to wander the road in search of a way home. Navajo folklore also adds another layer of mystery, with some suggesting that the spirit could be a shapeshifter or an entity disturbed by the road's construction through sacred land. In addition to the disappearing hitchhiker, Route 666 has a long history of fatal accidents and strange occurrences, which have only contributed to its reputation as a cursed highway. Many drivers have reported experiencing mechanical failures, feeling an invisible force compelling them to veer off the road, or seeing ghostly figures in their rearview mirrors. These accidents and incidents often occur near sites where the hitchhiker has been sighted, leading some to speculate a connection between the highway's dangerous history and its paranormal lore. The renaming of Route 666 to Route 491 was an effort to shed the Devil's Highway moniker and reduce the stigma attached to its dark history. However, the stories of the disappearing hitchhiker and other strange phenomena have persisted. Local residents and seasoned travelers still recount their experiences with a mixture of fear and fascination, and the highway remains a point of interest for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. For those who dare to drive its desolate stretches at night, Route 491, once Route 666, holds a place as one of America's most haunted roads. The tales of the disappearing hitchhiker serve as a chilling reminder that some journeys intersect with the unknown. While skeptics dismiss these accounts as mere urban legends or the effects of exhaustion and isolation, those who have experienced it firsthand insist on the truth of their stories. The phantom hitchhiker remains a mystery, a spectral traveler eternally searching for a destination he may never find. Chapter 5: The Poltergeist at the Petrol Station in Toms River, New Jersey. Toms River, New Jersey, a seemingly quiet town, became an unlikely hotspot for paranormal activity in the 1970s when a local gas station began experiencing a series of inexplicable and eerie events. The station, located on a busy road near the center of town, became known not just for its fuel and car services, but for the strange and unsettling occurrences that began to plague the employees and customers alike. The mysterious happenings at the gas station quickly gained the attention of local newspapers and even drew the curiosity of paranormal investigators, turning this otherwise ordinary establishment into a focal point of supernatural speculation. The incidents began subtly, with small, seemingly innocent occurrences. Employees reported items falling off shelves when no one was nearby, tools moving slightly out of place, and the occasional sound of distant banging, as if something or someone was trying to get their attention. At first, these incidents were chalked up to natural causes, perhaps a shift in the foundation, vibrations from passing trucks, or simple clumsiness on the part of the staff. But as time went on, the events grew stranger and more frequent, moving beyond mere coincidence into something far more alarming. One of the first widely documented events involved a mechanic who worked in the service bay at the station. While working alone one evening, he reported that a wrench flew off the workbench and landed several feet away without any apparent cause. Startled, he initially dismissed it as his own mistake, perhaps he had knocked it over without realizing. However, when the same wrench flew off the bench again a few minutes later, this time with greater force, he began to suspect something more unusual was at play. Other mechanics in the shop later confirmed experiencing similar occurrences with tools moving on their own, as if propelled by an unseen force. The most unnerving episodes began occurring inside the gas station's convenience store. Clerks reported hearing heavy footsteps coming from the roof or the back storage area, only to find no one there upon investigation. Items would fly off the shelves with such force that they shattered upon hitting the ground. On one occasion, a soda bottle reportedly launched itself from a display and smashed against a wall on the opposite side of the room, narrowly missing a customer. Witnesses described the bottle's movement as if it had been thrown by an invisible hand. The strange events did not go unnoticed by the local media. The Toms River Daily Times published several articles in the mid-1970s, documenting the unexplained activity at the gas station. Reporters interviewed employees who, under the condition of anonymity, described the terror they felt while working their shifts. One particularly chilling account involved a clerk who reported hearing whispers emanating from the empty aisles late at night. The whispers were soft but distinct, and though the words were unintelligible, the tone was unmistakably menacing. The stories quickly spread, and soon the gas station became known for its eerie reputation. As the reports of poltergeist activity at the Toms River gas station gained traction, the site attracted the attention of paranormal investigators. One such group, known as the New Jersey Ghost Research Society, conducted a series of investigations in the late 1970s to document and understand the strange phenomena occurring there. Armed with tape recorders, cameras, and dowsing rods, the team set out to capture evidence of the reported poltergeist activity. During one investigation, the group recorded unexplained banging noises coming from the walls and ceiling. These sounds, described as loud and rhythmic, seemed to travel through the structure, moving from one side of the building to the other, as if something unseen were walking along the beams above. At one point, a cold breeze was felt moving through the otherwise sealed room, causing the investigators to believe they were in the presence of a spirit. When they reviewed the audio recordings, they discovered faint, disembodied voices that seemed to whisper incomprehensible phrases. While some skeptics argued that these could be attributed to natural sounds or equipment interference, others believed it was clear evidence of a haunting. The investigators were also intrigued by the history of the land on which the gas station was built. It was discovered that before the gas station's construction, the property had been home to a family-owned farm. According to local records and accounts from longtime residents, a tragic fire had destroyed the farmhouse in the early 1900s, claiming the lives of several members of the family. Some speculated that the poltergeist activity could be linked to these tragic deaths, suggesting that the spirits of the deceased might be lingering on the property. One theory that emerged was that the gas station had become a focal point for residual hauntings, a type of paranormal activity where the energy of a traumatic event is imprinted on a location and replayed under certain conditions. This could explain why the poltergeist activity seemed to follow patterns, such as objects moving or noises occurring at similar times of day. However, some investigators argued that the activity showed signs of an intelligent haunting, where the entity is aware of and interacts with the living. This idea was supported by the fact that some of the more aggressive poltergeist behaviors, like items being thrown with force or whispers directed at specific individuals, seemed to be targeted rather than random. Despite several attempts to communicate with the spirit and understand its intentions, the paranormal activity at the gas station continued sporadically throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s. Employees came and went, with many citing the gas station's haunted reputation as their reason for leaving. The fear and paranoia among the staff grew to the point where few were willing to work the late shift alone. Customers, too, began to avoid the station at night, afraid of what they might encounter. The poltergeist phenomena at the Toms River gas station became a local legend, and while the station eventually changed hands and was renovated, the stories of its haunting persisted in the community's collective memory. Paranormal enthusiasts continued to visit the site, hoping to capture evidence of the elusive spirits that once terrorized the station's employees. While the activity eventually seemed to fade, some believe that the spirits still linger, waiting for the right moment to make their presence known once again. The events at the Toms River gas station remain one of New Jersey's most intriguing cases of reported poltergeist activity. Whether the cause was a restless spirit connected to a tragic past or some unexplained natural phenomenon, the fear and paranoia it instilled in those who worked and visited there were very real. To this day, the story serves as a reminder that even the most mundane places can become the settings for the inexplicable, where the line between the living and the dead can sometimes blur in ways that defy understanding. Chapter 6: The Ghost Lights of the Gas Station on Highway 365. Highway 365 in Arkansas is known for its winding roads and dense forests, but it's the mysterious ghost lights that have captured the imagination of locals and travelers alike for decades. These lights, often described as glowing orbs or ethereal spheres, have been seen floating near a remote gas station along the highway. The phenomenon has been reported by numerous witnesses, many of whom are left shaken by the strange and inexplicable experience. Local legends tie these ghostly lights to a tragic car accident that occurred in the area many years ago, where an entire family perished. The stories of these ghost lights, along with the eerie atmosphere that surrounds the gas station on Highway 365, have turned this quiet stretch of road into a place of both intrigue and fear. The gas station on Highway 365 is a small, unassuming place, the kind of stop where drivers refuel quickly before continuing their journey. It sits just off the highway, partially obscured by thick trees that grow close to the edge of the road. At first glance, there is nothing particularly remarkable about the gas station itself. However, it is here, in the dark and quiet of the night, that witnesses have reported seeing the mysterious ghost lights. The phenomenon has been documented as far back as the 1960s, with stories passed down through generations of locals and travelers. One of the earliest accounts was reported by a truck driver who was passing through the area late at night. As he approached the gas station, he saw a glowing orb of light hovering in the air near the road. Thinking it might be the headlights of another vehicle or perhaps a reflection, he slowed down to get a better look. The light, however, seemed to move with a mind of its own, darting across the road, stopping abruptly, and then disappearing into the woods. The driver continued on his way, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he had just witnessed something supernatural. Since then, there have been countless reports of similar sightings. Drivers and locals have described seeing these ghost lights appear suddenly and without warning, sometimes floating across the highway, other times hovering near the gas station or the surrounding forest. The lights are usually described as white or bluish orbs, though some witnesses have reported seeing red or yellow lights as well. They range in size from small baseball-sized glows to larger basketball-sized orbs. The lights often move erratically, zipping across the road, rising and falling in the air, or even splitting into multiple smaller lights before vanishing. Local newspapers have occasionally covered these ghost light sightings, with articles recounting the eerie experiences of those who have seen them. In one documented case from the 1980s, a couple driving along Highway 365 late at night spotted two ghostly orbs hovering near the gas station. The orbs seemed to follow their car for a short distance, before veering off into the woods and disappearing. The couple later described feeling a sudden chill and an overwhelming sense of being watched, even though no one else was around. Their story was published in a local paper, which noted that others had reported similar experiences in the same area. The origin of the ghost lights is often linked to a tragic accident that occurred on Highway 365 in the early 20th century. According to local lore, a family was driving along the highway late at night when their car skidded off the road and crashed into a deep ravine near the current location of the gas station. The car caught fire, and all members of the family perished in the blaze. It is said that the ghost lights are the spirits of the family members, forever wandering the area where they met their untimely deaths. Some versions of the story claim that the lights represent the souls of the children, separated from their parents and searching for a way home. Over the years, the ghost lights have become a popular subject for paranormal investigators and thrill seekers. Groups of ghost hunters have visited the area with cameras, EMF detectors, and audio recording equipment, hoping to capture evidence of the lights and their origin. While some have managed to capture footage of mysterious orbs of light moving through the trees or crossing the road, the videos are often grainy and inconclusive, leaving much to the imagination. Audio recordings sometimes pick up strange sounds, faint whispers, inexplicable static, or what some describe as the distant cries of a child. Despite these efforts, there is no definitive explanation for the lights, and they remain one of Arkansas's most enduring mysteries. Theories about the ghost lights' existence range from the scientific to the supernatural. Some skeptics suggest that the lights are caused by natural phenomena, such as swamp gas or bioluminescent insects. Others believe the lights could be reflections from headlights or street lamps, distorted by the thick forest and curving road. However, those who have witnessed the lights firsthand often reject these explanations, insisting that what they saw could not be so easily explained away. The area around the gas station is particularly known for its eerie atmosphere. Several people who have visited the site at night have described feeling an unsettling presence, as if they were not alone. One former gas station attendant reported hearing faint, disembodied voices while working late shifts. He claimed the voices sounded like whispers carried on the wind, but when he stepped outside to investigate, there was nothing but silence. Another account came from a group of teenagers who stopped at the gas station on a dare. They described feeling an intense cold, despite the warm summer night, and seeing shadowy figures moving among the trees just beyond the station's lights. Witnesses have also described a sensation of being watched, as if unseen eyes were following their every move. This feeling is often accompanied by the appearance of the ghost lights, which seem to linger and observe before fading away. Some believe that the lights are a form of spirit energy, watching over the location of the fatal accident, while others speculate that they could be a warning to those traveling the dangerous stretch of road. Despite the fear and uncertainty surrounding the ghost lights, the gas station on Highway 365 continues to operate, serving as a reminder of the mysteries that linger in the Arkansas night. For those who live nearby, the stories are a part of local folklore, a chilling tale to be shared around campfires or at family gatherings. For travelers and ghost hunters, the gas station represents an opportunity to witness something inexplicable and otherworldly, a brush with the unknown that defies rational explanation. Chapter 7: The Possessed Fuel Pump in Canterbury, England. In the 1990s, a seemingly ordinary gas station in Canterbury, England, became the center of a bizarre and unexplainable phenomenon that left both locals and visitors bewildered. One of the fuel pumps at the station appeared to be possessed, causing cars to move on their own without drivers behind the wheel. The strange occurrences were reported multiple times by witnesses, including both staff and customers, and eventually caught the attention of local media. The mystery surrounding the gas station and its inexplicable happenings led to a variety of theories, ranging from scientific explanations to paranormal speculation, turning the site into a focal point of curiosity and fear. The incidents began in the early 1990s at a gas station located on the outskirts of Canterbury, a historic city known more for its medieval architecture and the famous Canterbury Cathedral than for tales of haunted petrol pumps. Initially, the strange events went unnoticed or were brushed off as coincidences. A customer would fill up their tank, leave their car in neutral while they went to pay, and upon returning find that their car had rolled forward or backward a few feet. While such incidents could easily be dismissed as driver error or mechanical issues, it soon became apparent that something more unusual was at play. One of the first widely reported incidents involved a woman who had stopped to refuel her car late one evening. After she finished pumping gas, she stepped inside the station to pay. Moments later, she and the station attendant were startled by the sound of screeching tires. Looking outside, they saw her car rolling backward across the lot, seemingly under its own power. When they rushed out, they found the car had rolled several yards and stopped only inches away from another parked vehicle. The woman was adamant that she had left her car in gear with the handbrake on, but neither could explain what had caused it to move. The attendant mentioned that this was not the first time something like this had happened, and word began to spread. Over the next several months, reports of cars moving on their own at the gas station began to surface more frequently. Customers and staff alike witnessed vehicles lurching forward or backward without any driver inside. Some even reported seeing the cars appear to start rolling just as they approached the possessed pump. Onlookers described the unsettling feeling of seeing a vehicle seemingly come to life, with one witness stating it was as if the car had a mind of its own. These repeated incidents generated a mixture of fear and fascination, prompting the local media to take an interest. Local newspapers, such as the Canterbury Times, began covering the strange events, interviewing witnesses and gathering accounts of the unexplained vehicle movements. Several articles detailed the experiences of bewildered drivers who swore they had left their cars securely parked, only to return and find them inexplicably moved. The reports drew attention to the possibility of a supernatural explanation. Some speculated that the gas station might be built on cursed land or near an energy vortex that could cause such bizarre activity. The idea of the station being built on cursed land took hold due to the area's rich and sometimes dark history. Canterbury, being an ancient city with roots going back to Roman Britain, is steeped in stories of hauntings and legends. Some residents suggested that the ground beneath the gas station could have been the site of some long-forgotten tragedy, its restless spirits causing mischief from beyond the grave. Others proposed that the gas station might be located near an energy vortex, a supposed source of concentrated electromagnetic or spiritual energy that could interfere with electronics or even manipulate physical objects. Amidst the growing buzz and concern, a few scientifically minded individuals sought rational explanations for the strange phenomenon. Some proposed that the issue could be due to a sloped surface or an imperceptible incline at the gas station, causing cars left in neutral to roll. However, those familiar with the site argued that the ground was flat, and this theory didn't fully account for all the reported cases, especially those where the cars seemed to move with a sudden burst of speed or change direction unexpectedly. Others considered the possibility of electromagnetic interference or underground geological activity, like minor seismic tremors, that could cause vehicles to move. However, no definitive scientific evidence was found to support these explanations. The peculiar events at the Canterbury gas station drew the attention of paranormal investigators, eager to explore the possibility of a haunting or poltergeist activity. One team of investigators from a local ghost hunting society visited the site several times in an attempt to capture evidence of the supernatural. Armed with cameras, audio recorders, and EMF electromagnetic field detectors, they documented their findings. Although they did not record any clear evidence of paranormal activity, they noted unusually high electromagnetic readings near the possessed pump, which they argued could indicate the presence of a spirit or some other unexplained energy. As the mystery gained traction, more and more visitors came to the gas station, hoping to witness the phenomenon for themselves. Some claimed to experience a sudden chill when standing near the pump, while others reported feeling an inexplicable sense of unease or even dread. A few drivers even began to avoid the gas station altogether, fearing that their vehicles might be the next to fall victim to the possessed pump. The station's staff grew increasingly anxious as well, with some employees requesting to transfer or quit rather than work the late shifts when the strange occurrences seemed to be most frequent. Despite the media coverage and numerous eyewitness accounts, no definitive explanation for the events at the Canterbury gas station was ever established. The gas station continued to operate, and the incidents of moving cars slowly faded over time, though the stories lingered. While skeptics dismissed the phenomenon as a series of coincidences or unremarkable mechanical errors, the combination of fear, local lore, and the inexplicable nature of the events made it a lasting legend in the community. As you come to the end of this adventure, you might find yourself wondering about your own experiences. Have you ever felt a sudden chill while driving down a lonely road at night, or sensed a presence while stopping at a dimly lit gas station? Maybe you've caught a glimpse of something in your rearview mirror that wasn't quite there when you looked again. The stories you've read are not just about haunted places or ghostly encounters. They are about the strange and unsettling moments that can happen to anyone, anywhere. So, the next time you find yourself on a deserted highway or pulling into a quiet gas station late at night, ask yourself, have you ever experienced something that defied explanation? And if you haven't yet, perhaps it's only a matter of time. Stay alert, keep an open mind, and remember that sometimes the road holds more than just a destination. It holds secrets waiting to reveal themselves when you least expect it.